Hey, live at the conference table with Hayden and Greg. It is not Friday.
No, Greg came in sliding.
It's like Kramer on Seinfeld, busting in the door. So it is not Friday. It is Sunday at 3 o'clock. And we had to push from Friday. We just had too much going on. It was Veterans Day.
And Greg just saw a client. For those of you who are not aware, he does old-fashioned doctor's hours, whatever is needed. So he came here dressed like a professional.
6 a.m. to 9. I was at church today too.
Yeah.
So it was easy. 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. are our hours, but 7 days a week is how often I will see clients. And I apologize for not being doing the show, but let's not dwell on that. We're here at 3 o'clock. You know, it is Veterans Day. Just want to hit that. I'm not going to do a Veterans Day show today. We're really talking about today. It's predictions and change, right? Yeah. Changing in administrations, changing in policies. Got a lot of change, a lot of upheaval and unrest in the country right now. A lot of energy. I mean, just going about. Some of it guided, some of it misguided and wasted, right? But a lot of energy nonetheless. People protesting. Hayden's been out there protesting in Uptown Shelby around the court square all day today. Are you tired? You've been out there all night, haven't you? How many people were out there?
Greg, I don't think anyone was protesting.
No, nobody was Oh, okay. That wasn't you out there?
No, I've been fighting fires up in the mountains of North Carolina.
Have you really? Okay. Man,
no, but
we need to be praying for them.
Yeah. I have two friends who probably are going to lose their homes.
Really?
Yeah. And one of them is someone that you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Well, I hope she doesn't lose her home.
Well, there's another one. You know the other one too, I thought.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know.
And they probably will.
Yeah.
Some are very danger. So, as the one friend said, she didn't say pray for my home. She said pray for the firefighters. And that's a good thing.
Sure. So there's a lot going on right now. You know, hey, happy Veterans Day and Veterans Weekend to all the veterans out there. I'm a vet. I had a great time serving our military. I was proud to serve our military. There were some tough times, intense times. It gave me a great chance to grow up and become a man, you know, and figure out myself and get away from home and stop sucking my thumb when I went in the military. Get away from mommy and daddy, you know what I mean? Man, I think it'd do our kids a world of good to boot them out of the house at 18, sometimes before 18, because I think we stay in high school too long now. I really do. And get them out, just at least at 18, get them out of the house, and you go do something on your own, right?
It had a great effect on my grandson.
Yeah.
He matured, and matured so well. He went through the Army Ranger program and became an Army Ranger. And I was just amazed. I was just amazed. I'm so proud of him. I don't know what to do.
Right.
It's really, it can be a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. And so there's tons, but there is, I mean, you know, I can't remember really when there's been just so much unrest and upheaval and people at each other's throats over political philosophies and how to do things and how we're going to revolt and revolution. I hope California doesn't secede. I mean, I like to go. I used to live there.
Well, you do have to have a passport, so.
Oh, you have to have a passport to go there now?
No.
They did when you go into California. They check your car. Like you can't bring like fruit in because of their orange crops and things like that. Okay, they don't want you to bring in something that can tear up the crops.
When I was coming back from Thailand, I was eating an apple that I got on the plane, and there was a sign there that says, you know, get rid of everything.
They don't want you to bring something in.
I thought I could finish it and put it in the trash can, but they went through everything in our luggage because I was eating that apple because they didn't want what might have come to the country. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, California's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're dependent on us to bail them out of debt. They're not going anywhere.
That's pretty funny, Hayden. That's funny.
That's true.
Hayden made it funny.
That's
true. That is true. How did they pay off their massive debt? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so anyway, they're not going anywhere. No, but it's fun to talk about. So you have not been protesting. Is that clear? You have not. Okay. All right.
Make that perfectly clear.
Okay, but there is change coming though. Change is coming. There's change at the local level, where I live, Cleveland County. There's change at the state level. There's change at the national level. How does that affect us? How does that affect seniors? Seniors ask me all the time, hey, with this Ladybird deed, what if things change? And I say, there's one constant in life. It's going to change. Things are going to change. Things are always going to change. I mean, really where you get scared is the what if, is what if they don't change? Then something's wrong. I mean, that there's always change. When I was growing up, 55 saved lives. That was the big campaign in schools. You know? And now you can roll 70, you know, on your way to Asheville.
But I'll bet it did save lives at 55.
It saved gas. I think there was a gas shortage then. That's what it saved.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hayden drives too fast.
No,
So
I don't.
you don't?
No,
No?
the wrecks are not as a result of speed.
I drive too fast.
I have
but,
had several wrecks, and that is not anything
Well,
you ever forget.
If you get out in front, there's no wrecks out there. Plus, you win. You're a winner. You're a winner. That's why you want to get drive out in front.
I can drive fast. I can.
Gotcha.
That's a rule of it.
But there's always going to be change, right? There's always going to be change in legislation. There's always going to be change in laws and political philosophies in the needs of a people or the needs of a country. And how the government is going to get all the money from the people, get the money and take it, right?
Well,
Number one, I think if you're dependent on the government to do anything for you, then you need an attitude adjustment.
well, that's
I'll just
because the
say
bubble keeps getting bigger and bigger. And there was a game called Kaboom where you pass the balloon around, mash the things, and then when is it going to burst?
Right.
Or we keep mashing that thing and putting more air into the balloon, and when is it going to burst?
I mean, regardless, Democrat, Republican, what's the guy? Gary Johnson, Libertarian.
Yeah.
I had a really
Green
neat conversation with the Green Party. You know, who else?
That's only four.
There's a bunch of other ones out there. There's other ones out
Well,
there.
that's the only four, I think.
Yeah. Scientologists.
Are they? They're not political.
Oh, they're not.
Well, I think they could be political, but
Oh, I don't know.
I've never heard any.
I think that's a religion.
It is. Well,
I'm okay with anybody.
pseudo-religion, I'd give you that.
I'm okay with anybody, whatever you believe and whatever you think. But regardless of who you are, the point is, you know, if you're dependent, if you're so caught up that you think that the person that we elect is going to change everything, I just don't see that happen. I just don't see it happen. I think it's up to us to change things on a personal level. Okay, and I understand that your vote counts. Your vote counts. I'm not going down that road. But the thing is, the people we do put in power to make policy are going to make policy changes, right? So I wanted to talk about that today. I'm going to get Hayden fired up.
Yes, that's why we have so many rules, regulations, laws, bylaws, sub-laws. You aren't considered effective if you don't go up there and sponsor bills.
Yeah.
So, you know, at what point do you stop sponsoring? At what point do we have enough bills?
Yeah.
You know, let's send people up there who will rescind some.
Hey, I had an interesting conversation with the Libertarian guy at the polling booth. I worked the polls on Tuesday,
Right.
which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would recommend going and getting involved in the political process. It's well worth it. It's kind of catchy, just like a bug. You catch the bug. Have you ever caught a political bug?
I was 21 and the registrar in my precinct. Does that tell you anything?
Oh, okay. Well, I respect that. Okay. So, but I get it. I mean, it's just fun. It's catchy. It's you know, you get into it. So.
It was more. It's and some precincts were more fun than others. The one you worked probably is my favorite.
Yeah, the city park.
Yeah,
City park was a lot of
I
fun.
worked in Kings Mountain. It was a little different.
Sure.
We had a little different oppositional party representatives, and their personalities were different.
So it's time for Hayden's Corner and Hayden's Happy Place live at the conference table. We're talking about predictions and change. We're going to make some predictions today. We're going to predict how the law is going to change, okay? We're going to give it our guess. And we're going to, now this is tough. I mean, this is like saying who's going to win for president or who's going to win the Super Bowl, you know. You could be wrong. I mean, you know, but we're going to give it our best educated guess at some change, okay? Are you surprised? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think? What you got for me about change today? What do you think about change? As it relates to whatever. I don't care. When we're talking about political change, there's huge energy and upheaval right now. People still protesting because they lost.
Well, when interviewed, most of those people didn't know what they were protesting about.
No, regardless of that, though. I mean, regardless of that, right?
Okay.
Regardless of that.
All right.
What do you have for us on change today in 80s Corner?
Well, actually, we switched in the middle of the conversation a while ago to fears, and I really have more about that because I've gone through personal changes.
I think fear is part of it. That's the whole thing. People fear change. People are scared of change.
That's one of the five top philosophical changes, I guess you would say, or philosophical things people fear: death, change, rejection, failure, and success.
People fear success. Sometimes people self-sabotage themselves. Have you ever done that? I've probably done that to myself once or twice. They do. You get because success, winning brings with it responsibility. Anyway, go ahead.
And work.
Fear work.
To success. I mean, you have to work to get there.
Work.
You have to work to keep it there.
Oh my gosh, I got all this work to do.
Yeah. And that's different from those are rational fears.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the
I don't know.
Fears in...
I don't know if those are rational fears, but if you say so.
Well, you can rationalize why people do that.
Yeah.
But the top 5 fears of all fears are spiders, snakes, heights, crowded or open spaces,
And Donald Trump.
And dogs.
He's not on there?
Well, this was pre.
Oh, pre-Trump? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And dogs?
Fear
of dogs?
Fear
Okay.
of dogs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are fairly irrational fears when you look at statistics.
Okay.
Everybody goes through experiences.
Those are irrational fears? Fears of spiders?
That's my word for it. My
Okay.
fears. Yes, I think it's irrational.
All right.
If you look at statistics, how many people get bitten by spiders and how many people...
That's irrational to be really scared of being bitten by a spider.
I think...
But I'm like, rational or not, I'm like conditioned to be scared of snakes and spiders, I think. But you're not scared of spiders. You go out there and you get them.
Yeah,
You're the
put them
one
in jars and carry them outside if they're not,
Oh, I appreciate that. You don't kill them in the house. You just put them in jars and let them go. I appreciate it.
Or I'll put a piece of paper under a cup, or I'll take a soft tissue and take them outside. Or
those fears are more rational to me than the others. Okay.
Yeah, some of them I put in my hand. I know they're not going to hurt me. The granddaddy long nose, we used to let them crawl all over us.
Who was it? The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin FDR, which is my kid's favorite president.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you educated him about him, probably.
It just is.
He probably wouldn't be my favorite, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, really, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. I mean, to wax philosophical, you know, the fears are usually misplaced.
That's fear. You fear. I don't know.
Well,
I'd have to think about that one.
I think the point is you don't have anything to fear. It's all your perception. It's how you handle it. You're well equipped. In faith, I think faith conquers fear.
Yeah, I think it helps you deal with it. Yeah.
Faith in whatever. You know, faith in God, faith in your abilities. So as it relates to seniors and change and fear and the administration.
Well, I guess I do have a lot of fears there.
You do?
You mentioned one a while ago.
What?
Losing my driver's license.
Fear,
yeah.
Sure.
And becoming dependent on others and having to ask. I've never been one to ask for what I wanted.
Okay.
And to have to ask someone to drive me to the grocery store, or or something less important, would. Yeah.
It's a loss of independence.
Yes.
I think driving represents independence.
Yes.
And I think seniors, anyone, is scared of losing their independence. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
but
I'm going to hold on to that driver's license.
I think there are different types of goals people have when they have children, or different senses of responsibility. And I grew up in a family who believed that you tried to protect your children and you tried to prepare for them. And my father was left a small inheritance from his father and grew it. And he has a small inheritance that he will leave to us. And, it's important to me, very important to me, to make sure that I have something to help my children grow, and so I can feel comfortable that they're going to be able to take care of themselves. So that's a fear.
So I was looking, if you look at U.S. News, they have a list of senior fears. They have a top 3. Baby boomer fears. Healthcare is number 1. Staying healthy, mentally sharp. There's tons of ways to do that. The YMCA, right? Exercise, silver sneakers programs. Really talking about benefits programs like Medicare and Medicaid there, though, especially Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you think that one is at the top of the list because of the current political situation and the?
yeah, I mean, maybe I think that's innately a fear of human beings, though, is a fear of staying healthy and a fear of death. And I think that's where that stems from. Just speaking honestly, we all want to stay healthy. We all worry about, being able to, our own mortality and staying healthy. I think that's a natural fear, and that's our most primal fear. That's number one. So healthcare is right along there with it. What do you think? I mean, there's been talks about privatizing Medicare. I mean, that's certainly a political discussion. Do you think that there's going to be any change in the Medicare system for seniors over the next? You think it's going to happen in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I think it's got to. Look at the deductibles. Yeah. I mean, people, if someone who you know well and I know well, was just talking about this, we got $5,000 deductible, and then a $90 copay or something like that.
Outrageous healthcare expenses. Yeah.
It discourages preventive medicine with having to pay for.
Not mention small business. I mean, small business used to be able to afford to pay for healthcare for their workers, and now they can't.
Well, do you know why they just started doing that?
But that's a different system than Medicare, though.
Right. So
Medicare. I think that they're going to privatize the system. I think there is going to be change. I think there's going to be a change in the next 4 years. That's my prediction. So is your Medicare going to change? My prediction is yes.
An agreement.
Yes. I'm going to predict that, okay? I don't know it, okay? But I'm going to predict it. I think that Medicare system will drastically change over the next 4 years in order to save it and extend it. So, that's a big issue.
Yes.
Feels good. I got off my chest. And then there's what's next? There's what about taxes? Estate tax. I have people that ask me about estate tax all the time. Estate tax right now only applies if you pass more than $5.43 million.
Now, is that federal tax?
Yes, and it's IRS. Yes, federal, and it's tied to the gift tax. So if I give you $1 million, here it is, $1 million, and during my life, okay, then I can only give you $4.43 million in debt because it would subtract, right? And then people are like, oh, but I can give away $10,000 to anyone, and it's not counted. And I'm like, that's different. So it's actually $14,000, okay, and you can give away up to $14,000 per year. I'm sorry, to anyone, up to $14,000 to any number of individuals, and you don't have to report that gift. That's what that is. So it doesn't count off how much you can give later. See what I'm saying?
I do.
What do you think? You think that's going to change? And why?
The numbers may change a little bit. Traditionally, Republicans have been kinder to you on things like that than
regardless
Democrats.
of political affiliation.
So
regardless of political affiliation, we're going to leave that out. Regardless of that, okay, we do. I mean, there's a Republican going in the White House. We know that. We know this is a Republican-controlled Senate and Congress. So are they going to leave it alone and allow you to pass $5.43 million, or are they going to monkey with it?
That sounds fair to me. I mean, I don't think they.
It used to be $1 million. It was $1 million for a number of years, and then it was George Bush gave a year where it was no estate tax, 1 year. So if you're going to die, it was your year.
That was your year to do it.
And now, that's the question. It would be betting against the odds politically if I said yes, there was going to be a change.
Why?
Because what you said, I think the administration that's going in is going to be more tax friendly and want to leave taxes alone. But the government has to give money from somewhere.
Well, that's not something that is a major hitting the news topic. Most people don't have that kind of money, so it's not an issue. I think we're going to be talking more about corporate taxes and whether or not there's going to be the disparity between the taxes on those who make more money than less. I think those will be the arguable points.
So do you think that there's going to be no change in the estate tax? Us common people, middle class, are going to be able to still pass our money without getting taxed.
I think they'll
Up
be
to
able
5.43. Okay. I'm going to agree with Hayden on that. I'm going to go with no change in the estate tax.
It's just not a.
Good job. I agree with you.
We'll either.
That's
that's
a soft no for me though. It's a soft no. But I'm gonna agree with you. No change in the upcoming estate tax. Okay. And so we did estate tax. That's good. That's good. What about? Oh, this is another one. Right along with healthcare. Along with healthcare is health insurance, right? So or
that's
Medicare.
definitely going to
But
be.
what about long-term care? Long-term care insurance. You hear people all the time. I'm included in that group. Man, if you should have long-term care insurance. You should, by the way, because if you need it, you'll be really glad you have it because you can easily pay for in-home care, premium care like that's provided by out-of-home health care to come in home so you can stay in your palace and be taken care of instead of having to go somewhere else, like a nursing home or assisted living facility.
Well, when the logic comes into the equation.
Plus, you can have time to plan. Like if you got it for 5 years, then you can go plan to, how do I want to protect assets and do things. It gives you time.
Well, when you bring logic into it and you
Yeah.
look at facts and statistics, it's cheaper to care for someone in a home. But there are sometimes the government.
I'll tell you
fights
laws
against
that need to change.
Okay.
I interrupted you.
That's
Please
okay.
go ahead.
No,
Sometimes the government.
well, it goes out of my head so quickly you don't have to worry.
So I'll tell you what needs to change is I think that in-home care services should be treated on equal footing
Yes.
as institutional care like assisted living
Yes.
and nursing home care.
Well, that was
And
that's
it's
what
not.
split it out of my head.
And it's not.
But it's statistically more beneficial to care for someone at home. I mean it's
There's less germs, bacteria,
yeah. Well, it's cheaper.
infections
It's
in home.
less expensive, and the government should encourage that rather than discourage it.
But it doesn't.
I know.
I can get Medicaid to come in and pay for my nursing home care, but not for in-home care.
And that's totally. So there was a strong lobby against that from someplace. I guess from the nursing home industry.
True,
and,
true,
and there.
true. What would happen to our nursing homes if that happened? There'd be less money flowing that way, certainly.
Yeah.
Plus, there's probably a concern, is there room for abuse with Medicaid with in-home care? I think that is probably a concern let me out there too. That's what I think. Okay. And then, so long-term care insurance is a great thing to have, okay? However, pre-existing conditions. Right now, one of the changes in healthcare law that has happened over the last 4 years that I agree with 100% is that you cannot be denied because of a pre-existing condition that is no fault of your own. So you can get insurance and you can get care and not have to go bankrupt and bankrupt your family. Can't be denied because you already have leukemia
Well,
or something.
what the problem is,
But go ahead.
they're insuring you knowing that you've got a condition that's going to cost $200,000 a year for medication or whatever.
I get that.
Versus someone who doesn't have that risk.
Yeah.
Potentially, but the potential is much less,
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you do this? How do you make it fair and knowing that this person, I don't know, that's a dilemma, and I don't
I get it. I get it. And the theory now is the cost has to be absorbed by all.
Well, they used to have a pool.
How does
and they
car
still
insurance
have-
do it?
That's what I was getting ready to say. They used to have a pool where if you just did like I've done, had several wrecks, not all of which were my fault, only one.
How many?
There you go. Okay.
Okay. I should have gone to airplane mode on the thing. All right. So anyway, So how does car insurance do it? I don't know. If
They
you
used
have
to
more
have
of
a
a
pool.
propensity to have a wreck,
Yeah.
then you pay higher rates.
Right, and when you
Maybe,
go to a pool and you are just divided out among the different insurance agencies, and it's a high risk,
Yeah.
high,
Maybe.
high
I don't know.
cost.
Regardless, some people that are, really experts in that area need to hash that out and figure it out.
Well, they've never done that. They've never actually sat down with experts and figured out things. So you've got this group over here who thinks this way and this group who thinks this way. I mean, the same thing with all the government's issues.
As it
they don't have the right people.
Right, you don't think so. You need to get the right people figured out.
Yeah.
No doubt. So, long-term care insurance, pre-existing conditions, okay? So, pre-existing conditions.
Put them into the pool.
Long-term
But
care
I'm not-
insurance, though.
let
But
everybody get the same
not the current healthcare system, the healthcare exchange, and that. But long-term care insurance for seniors that you can buy,
Well,
right? You can't get it sometimes if you have pre-existing conditions, okay? Not traditional long-term care insurance. So what are some solutions for that? Do you think that the government will come in and make long-term care insurance where you can still get it with pre-existing conditions?
Well, we know of people who were expected to need long-term care that didn't.
Right.
My mother was a good example. I fully expected her to have to spend some months or years in a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
And she was fortunate that things happened the way they did, because that would have not been her. That wouldn't have been good for her. But there's no way to tell, because you have, like osteoporosis, like mom, whether or not you're going to need nursing care.
So, all right, question.
Yeah.
Will the government intervene and force insurance companies to accept pre-existing conditions for long-term care insurance? Yes
I've
or
never
no?
heard, I don't know, because I've never heard them mention that. My question is, and just a little bit off the subject,
Mm-hmm.
at what age should people look at long-term care insurance? What time should they be pricing it and
Well, I'm not an
moving it?
insurance agent.
I know.
I work with people.
You work with them, and I just wondered
Yeah,
if
who
in
do
your
that?
seminars you had ever heard them say what a good
The younger the
was.
better. The younger the better. Because
It's
you
kinda
don't
like
have your pre-existing conditions, you can set your rates lower.
50?
There's also hybrid plans where you can place X amount of dollars there and get a payoff of 5 times that much.
Great plans compared to what it used to be. You can actually get your money back if
And you can
don't
qualify
use it.
older. So there are more options. But the question is, will the government legislate and force insurance carriers to accept pre-existing conditions with long-term care insurance?
I'm going to say no.
I am going to agree. I'm going to say
I
no.
think we've agreed on so many things.
We never agree. No, that's not true. We agree.
That's not true.
No. The answer is no.
I just
Okay.
don't think it's not a push. It's a hot button issue. It's not a hot button issue.
Yeah, I think it's going to become a hot button issue.
Well,
But in the next 4 years, I don't think that's going to
the
happen.
people over 80 isn't that the fastest growing percentage-wise segment of the population?
Yeah, I just don't think it's happening in the next 4 years. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking
We
to
need
it.
to have a time capsule and open it in 4 years and see how we fared.
We do this.
Yeah.
Say this video. We need
back
to
4
do this
years
in
from
4
now?
years. We'll do another
Okay.
episode, and we're going to grade ourselves. Okay, on our predictions and what we got right or wrong. So we covered Medicare.
Okay.
What about VA? It's Veterans Day, Veterans Weekend. VA benefits. How are VA benefits? You can apply for veterans aid and attendance benefits, which is a pension benefit, where a veteran or spouse of a veteran, even spouse of a deceased veteran, can receive good money monthly, okay, to help care for that veteran even in home. So there's no limit on aid and attendance, which is what I think, a Medicaid benefit that way would be nice too for long-term care, whether it's used for in-home care, even a spouse caring for her husband could get it. Married couple could get $2,200 or more. Single person could get $1,200 approximately. Okay, per month for life once it's activated. Are there going to be any changes to that system coming up? Do you think? Are there going to be any limits placed on it? There is no.
So few people know about it now.
Let me tell you this: there is no look back period if you're a veteran on aid and attendance. So that means, a look back period is something where, say, a Medicaid department is looking back 5 years on how you handled and transferred assets, and you have to do it under specific, really strict guidelines and set of rules, or you get disqualified. So VA has no look back period, so it's easier to qualify. and position assets for qualification while not losing those assets under the rules. It's just under the rules, okay? Is there going to be a change with the, coming up in VA and look back periods and things like that?
Well, I think there are going to be changes in the VA. I think you're going to see improvement. I think it's a hot button issue.
Okay.
I think we're going to see that.
Okay.
As far as aid and attendance goes, I doubt it.
So changes overall in VA.
Yes, I think you'll see better service at the VA hospital.
I'm going to go with a big Batman pow bang yes on that one. That's what that yes looks like. The old Batman show. Yes, absolutely. There's going to be changes in the VA. I think there are going to be major changes coming to VA and veterans, and I think that's a good thing. If I were king, what I would do is I would localize it. I would localize the delivery of services. I think that's a very, very good thing to do.
Do you mean get away with the VA hospital?
Man, I was sick last
you
year
have to go
for 8 to 10 months. I had this thing going on, and I wasn't my normal cheery self all the time, but I was. But it just really got to me. There were times, I remember my dad had to drive me up there. Luckily, he was in town. Drive me to VA hospital in Asheville, an hour and a half away, to the emergency room. I didn't have necessarily a life and death emergency at that point, but I needed to be checked out. And that's what I had to do. I had to go to the emergency room up there. Is that the most efficient use of money, services, or even the veterans' time? No, it's not.
And there's been talk
That's
of
stupid.
that.
That's dumb. I mean, I can't stand the way it's currently organized that way.
There's some
You need
people
to
who love it, and then there are other people who don't.
Yeah, if you are, how about this? I know veterans who absolutely love it. If you are retired and you and your wife go and spend a day in Asheville and you get your test done and your checkup at the VA Charles George Medical Center in Asheville, which is rated #1, I think, right now. I think in the nation, like in delivering services. So they do a great job compared to other VA facilities, okay? Compared to other, now let's not say that it's not Johns Hopkins, okay? Maybe it is. I'd like to see how they rank up against the best hospitals in the country, right?
Non-military.
Yeah, and that's the point. Is we as veterans have settled. We are okay with having to drive an hour and a half to go see a doctor, or to get a procedure done or test done. When, I don't know, maybe somebody who is not even an American citizen could come into my town and go to the local hospital and then leave and never pay a dime and receive services. I cannot do that. And that's not good.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
I don't like it at all. Stupid. So why am I not okay to go down? I mean, if you're working for another federal agency, what about the post office? Can they go to a local hospital? Well, I'm a vet. I serve my country. Why can't I go to a local hospital? Why can't you take that federal money and spread it in local communities instead of consolidating it and managing it how you want to just up in Asheville?
Or make it an insurance program or something.
Yeah, there's tons of different ways you can do it, but get together, figure it out, and bring that money to the localities. Your hospitals make more money locally. Your doctors make more money locally. And veterans can actually drive 5 minutes to see their doctor, who they know on a regular basis, instead of going to Asheville.
All of these problems, like the VA issues and Medicare and the, now here I
go. Oh, he's getting married over here.
No, gotta let the dogs out.
Oh, okay.
All of those things could be.
Who let the dogs out?
I have to let the dogs out. That's why I'm dressed there.
Who?
Gotcha. I'm finished with you. All of those could be figured out. Just the discourse you and I have had on these things. If you had people who were more knowledgeable than the two of us, or even less so, with a brain and some what ifs, brainstorming could solve a lot of these problems. But nobody bothers to do that. You've got people working over here and people working
I'm telling you, it's always a money thing. It's a money and a power thing. Okay.
And you're probably right. I don't want to accept it that it's always.
It's always a money or a power thing.
Who has the most lobby money? Who does who for what? What for whom?
So to take care of veterans the right way and bring that big federal money back into local economies, I say you localize the entire program.
I agree with you.
Okay?
We've got to disagree.
Give me a
on
card.
something.
Give me a card in my wallet.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. And I said no grandstanding. I was just grandstanding for a long time. And here's the reason. Why would a veteran go to the emergency room in Asheville as opposed to going to an emergency room in Shelby, North Carolina? Why would they drive an hour and a half? Maybe
To
throw it
save
up
money.
or whatever else.
That's the only reason.
Because if you don't, and you go to your local emergency room, and they deem that it was not, in their opinion, the VA deems it was not a life-threatening emergency, then you might have to pay. I mean, you show up in the emergency room, it's $1,000, minimum.
Yes.
If you got a real issue and you got tests going, you get a CAT scan or
And
something
they're
like that.
going to do 5 or 6 tests no matter what.
Dude, I think that's anyway. 10 grand possibly. If you got something wrong with it, just to check it out and see. I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of spare 10 grands laying around. So I'm going up there, throwing up and all, along the way. So that is not a good situation for our veterans to be in. I've been in that situation before myself, which is why it got me really hot about it. I could not believe that was the situation. And you'll hear veterans say, "Oh yeah, Greg, but there are local places. You could go to the place in Bessemer City or Charlotte or Rutherford. But those are only clinics where you can get seen on a regular checkup. In fact, I was livid, if you can imagine that, okay? I was hot because, you remember? You went up there one time with me, didn't you?
Yes.
I showed up.
Yes.
At Rutherford.
No, you never raised your voice.
No.
You did express yourself.
Yes, I did.
With no uncertain terms.
Emphasis.
Yes.
And
use your words to make your explanation.
Yeah. So you should be able to at least go to a local clinic and be seen and checked out. But you can't. They will send you home. Or they will tell you that you have to go to Asheville. Which pretty much, if you have to work, means you take the whole day off and shut down your business and go to Asheville.
Yeah, because you were there. You had an appointment at one of your places and waited and waited and waited.
And they wouldn't see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened too. So yeah, man, it needs to change. I'll just say that. And you wonder why that big, the big thing about, was it the Phoenix or Arizona VA that they were hot about, where like how many veterans died because they were waiting to be seen and they're purposely pushing them off. Yeah. It makes you mad, man. You don't want to see that. You don't want to believe that. So things need to change.
Well, the public supports change. They would support
positive
dollars spent. And movies like the one I saw yesterday, those kind of movies that show.
What did you see yesterday?
You did have to ask me. Come on, help me. You know the name of that movie.
What was it about?
The big one, the Mel Gibson movie. People don't want to see it because they don't like Mel Gibson, but honest to gosh, it was the most realistic thing, and I cannot remember the name of it. But I can't remember my dog's name sometimes.
Okay, so you saw a good movie.
It was wonderful.
Great.
I want to remember the name of it. I will before we're through my boat.
Yes, ma'am.
We changed the subject. I'll remember it.
Okay.
Okay.
And that relates to our subject.
It does very well, because if you saw the injuries that were incurred by these fellas, you just want to give your money to them. It was unbelievable.
It was like a Mel Gibson movie that had veterans in it?
Yeah. And it was a war movie about the only Medal of Honor winner who never carried a gun. He was conscientious.
Oh yeah, that's at the theaters right now, isn't it? It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I gotta go
awesome.
see that. Okay.
But I mean, you will cry.
I didn't even know Mel Gibson was in it.
You will cry. He's not. He produced it.
Oh, he produced it.
It is wonderful. It will let you see.
But he saved like 50 people or more.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yes. Another one.
But he was a conscious. Yeah. But he was against carrying a gun. Yeah.
I don't want to tell anything, other than I will tell you this. At the end, they interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
how old is he now?
He passed away, I think, in 2006.
Okay.
But somewhere around there. But they had an interview with him, and he was talking about some of the things that they had shown in the movie. Heartbreaking. I sobbed myself till I couldn't cry anymore. It was just.
Yeah. So you give a big sacrifice, and at least we can do is take care of it.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's the only war movie that's out right now. It's worth your time if you can stomach it, because it's very, very graphic. It is very graphic.
Okay, so warning, very graphic, but well worth it. And I'll tell you where I think there's going to be a huge change in VA benefits applications as it affects veterans and aid and attendants. I do not think that there's going to be localized health care for veterans overnight. I think there's going to be a push over the years for that. I think this incoming administration has made promises, which I hope they live up to. And I hope that somebody fights to localize it more than it is now.
Yeah, at least on the basic level. At least on checkups and things like that, so that you don't have to drive around.
Let me go to a
I think
local
they will.
doctor.
I'm going to say I think they
Give me a
will.
card. Let me go to a local doctor. Let me hang out.
Yeah.
So let me just live a life like everybody else and do that. So I think there will be changes there. I also believe very strongly, okay, that coming January 1st, there's going to be a look back period placed on aid and attendance benefits given to veterans aid and attendance.
Why would they do that? I mean, everything is so pro-veteran now. Why would they do something that took something away they've done without for so long? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they're not.
I have okay. Hayden says no. Okay.
Yeah.
I say.
It's our first disagreement.
I say
it's
yes. Big time.
Mild disagreement.
Big time. I have an inside source. Okay.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
I have an inside source. I think that come January 1, there's going to be some sweeping changes in aid and attendance applications that's going to put a 2-year look back period on all asset transfers.
Okay, what they're trying to do
attorneys,
with this,
they're going to guard that pot of money.
what they do with the look back period is try to keep you from making yourself eligible by giving away money and taking trips and doing things like this with your money. Is that pretty
Well, not
much
taking
what
trips. I don't know who's taking
whatever
trips.
the money, whatever you would do with your money, give away money to your kids or
You
try to.
might want to keep it in your family because you worked hard for it
Uh-huh.
and feel like you deserve that benefit.
Yeah, but I mean, they look at your expenditures and they can disqualify you for a period of time.
No, this is VA, different. Okay, they would just disqualify you.
Okay, altogether.
Yeah, altogether.
Right.
But
those are things people need to know about now before they make the mistake.
that's correct. So plan ahead.
Yeah.
I can help plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certified as an attorney through the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. That allows me to do that type of planning, that and VA disability benefits.
And may I bring back up something from a moment ago? You mentioned the Ladybird deed and change and how that might change. And
we're actually going to hit Ladybird deed shortly.
We're going to talk more? Okay. Well,
that's one of our next ones. I should have told you that. Sorry.
Well, you mentioned it a while ago, so I'll just say this at least, as far as change, about your opinion about how that may or may not change.
Okay. I'm going to hit Ladybird deeds in a second. We'll go into that. Absolutely.
We'll go in order.
Yeah, and then so sticking on VA, another change that I think is going to happen, pretty positive, will happen. My prediction is that instead of a rule of thumb, not knowing how much money you can keep, because there's no hard and fast rule, is it $80,000? Is it $20,000 for VA that a senior can have, even under planning, leave it just in their name? It's going to go to $120,000, I believe, and it's going to be a written hard and fast rule that you can keep $120,000. And I think that there will be strategies developed by elder law attorneys and veterans certified attorneys like myself, benefits planning attorneys, to be able to allow you to keep much more. Okay, and even with a 2-year look back period, and hold on to assets, or at least keep those in the family. Okay. By using Veterans Asset Protection Trust or veterans compliant annuities, I think would work quite well there. Okay, so anyway, yes, there is always going to be change, and those are my predictions, my prognostications.
Yeah. But you need to give me a heads up when you've got those
inside tracks.
Sources.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't. So we disagreed. We'll see who's right, me or Hayden.
Well,
okay. You got to do your own. You got to do your research. All right. So Ladybird deeds.
Yeah, I have time to research all that kind of stuff.
I'm just kidding. All right, so Ladybird deeds.
Okay.
You mentioned Ladybird deeds. Let's talk about Ladybird deeds. Right now, and over the last several years, North Carolina has allowed Ladybird deeds. Ladybird deeds are important in protecting property, especially if you are going into a nursing home or assisted living facility and need Medicaid benefits to come in, but you want to save the farm, right? Which this book explains all about these types of strategies. Okay, Hayden, how can they get the book, Saving the Farm? I worked 2.5 years on that book, and it's a reference book that reads like a novel, right?
That's what I said.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So it's got a good story and very relevant to seniors and their families and planning, and will tell you a lot about what we're talking about right now today. It explains ladybird deeds in depth and how they work. And you can go right to the table of contents and drill down to any section in the book and find out what you want to know, given whatever situation you're in.
This book, I bet not one of them is not shared. I can't believe the amount of sharing.
A lot of people sharing my book out there.
This book on
I appreciate
to
that.
others because they.
There's not a week, sometimes a day that goes by that I don't sit down with a potential client or former client that tells me that they have read my book.
Right.
And I really appreciate that. And that they've shared it or given it to someone else.
Right. We
It's
have
really cool.
we have them here at our office in Shelby, and they're available on Amazon. And what are the other?
iTunes,
Amazon's my everything.
iTunes,
iTunes.
Audible, audiobook. You get it on iTunes or Audible.
The advanced Audible, you are, I think,
Enhanced
favorite.
enhanced ebook.
Enhanced ebook.
The
yeah.
enhanced ebook is my favorite because you can see the interviews. You can see videos of me talking about the different subjects right in the text. Right in the text. So where else? Kindle. Yeah, Kindle too.
Kindle
Yeah.
books.
So you can get it anywhere, or come by the office. You can get one here. There's other places selling around town.
I don't know how well to finish up.
I'll tell you what we're gonna
This
do.
is the table of contents, and there are 4 pages like this, and it is as detailed as you can imagine. You do not have to read through 10 pages of a chapter to find the thing you're looking for. It really is a good resource.
Thanks, Hayden.
You're welcome, but you know.
I'll tell you this. I think this week coming up, I need to start spending an hour a day or so toward making sure that every possible retail outlet in our area between Charlotte and Nashville has these in their store. I want to do that. Let's make sure they have 10 copies. We'll split the proceeds with the retail outlet. Let's do that, okay? Can we do that? Can we talk more about that?
We do that with the senior center.
The senior center, we do it. You can get it there.
And,
There's some other places that have it too. I think it's Cecil Burton's Funeral Home, big one up there.
Yeah.
There's Shelby Health and Wellness. You can get it there. So
Well,
it
we
is
need
out
to
a few
expand
places.
these. They don't have
We
to
need
be
to expand them. We need it. we need it.
health-related or senior-related.
We need it everywhere. Doctors' offices, insurance places, investment places. Jamie Richards has some. He loans them out like a library.
He does.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So anyway, let's make sure we do that.
Okay.
So that was.
I'll do that.
So back to Ladybird Deeds. Ladybird Deeds are really cool tools that allow you to protect your home or farm or where you live. Maybe something that's been in the family for years, generations maybe. And instead of losing that home because of a healthcare situation where you had to go have Medicaid pay for long-term care, you get to keep it in your family and pass it on to your kids, for instance, okay, and protect it. And that's really, really awesome. And it avoids the 5-year look-back period. So you could do it today, Medicaid come in tomorrow, and pay for long-term care, which is really, really nice.
Right, and we've done a lot of that.
Right.
Just in a week or short periods of time when someone knew that they were going to have to go into a nursing home. Bam. That takes care of that right that minute.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean,
Right away.
I like to call that tool a no-brainer.
Yeah.
No-brainer for a lot of
And
seniors.
it is very popular.
It's just what you need to do to take care of yourself, take care of that property. Okay. Are there going to be any changes? I have that question. What if it changes, Greg? What if it changes in the next couple of years? How would it be treated?
Well, I have some inside information.
Okay.
It's actually not inside information. It's a good guess from someone who is in the field.
Mm-hmm.
You have said that you believe that they will grandfather that if they make changes.
Yeah, I think
I
if
think
changes
you're
were
right.
made, that it'd be made in such a it's a policy, not a law. Okay, so it's a policy, but policies change too. I think that they would say, I would certainly argue and worry and fight and rail against it if they try to do it retroactively. But, you know, as of December 31st of that year or something, or January 1 of the next year, that anything made after that would not be accepted, right? So the others would be grandfathered in, which is how most laws and policy changes work. You ruffle the least amount of feathers that way. And
it only makes sense.
I think so.
Politicians do not want to make people angry.
So the next jump is, they don't want to ruffle too many. You know, the path of least resistance is usually the best way for the people and the politicians.
Going forward.
Yeah. So so with a new change of administration at state level, you know, different things, different needs of the state. Maybe a different budget.
Well, it was, correct me if I'm wrong.
So, yeah.
No,
okay.
I have to be very careful.
Here's the thing. You know, the question is, are they going to change that? Are they going to change it so that we can't do ladybird deeds and that we're stuck? You know, if somebody has a problem, they would have had to do it 5 years previous. What do you think?
Under what administration did they first allow it?
We've been using them in North Carolina for about the last 4 years. Okay. So, you know.
Those are the people who are in control now. My guess is, as long as they are the rule makers and the policy makers, it will remain the way it is.
Constant, you think? So you're saying no change?
No change.
Okay. I think that North Carolina has shown that it's being very accommodating towards seniors.
Right.
It's a senior destination a lot of times.
Didn't they do away
there are a
with
lot of
the
developers.
inheritance taxes?
Yeah. Yes.
The same group of people?
Yes.
So if they want to change anything, I think they would change that before this. I think they would be more inclined to leave you your bone.
Okay. So you know, the question.
Did you see the headlines? Republicans take homes away from seniors.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good for anybody, or Democrats either.
No.
Yeah, nobody.
Well, but I'm talking about the ones who, we're dealing with right now. So, no, that would not look well.
I do not think there's going to be a change. I'll say that. I'll say no change.
I
Okay.
cannot believe this is a record. How many times have we agreed?
Quite a few times. I really want to disagree with you, but I can't.
Well, pick one.
Okay.
You got my hot spots.
No, I do not think there's going to be a change. I think North Carolina has shown that it's being very progressive in welcoming seniors, to come here and leaving alone where they sink a lot of their money. Where they sink a lot of their money. You don't like that word, progressive?
Aggressive.
So where they sink a lot of their money. I think they're going to, which is their home, and not taking that away from the family. Okay, letting that stay in the family. Even if they have a healthcare situation, catastrophic, that requires care, which is no fault of their own. I think that's my call. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. So that's going to be around. We covered a lot of ground.
We're taking up a lot of time, too.
I want to go one more, okay?
All right, let's go.
One more.
All right.
Marathon.
Okay.
At the conference table,
All right.
okay? Medicaid to pay for long-term care. Nursing home Medicaid and assisted living Medicaid. Nursing home Medicaid in North Carolina is under a system called long-term care Medicaid. There's a 5-year look-back period, which means all your money has to be spent down or things gifted away properly within the 5-year look-back, or done outside of that period. They can only see back 5 years. So if you gifted things out, if you move to protect things, put them in trust.
And don't mistake thinking because you can save taxes on giving away money that it retains here. It's two separate things. You can give away money through a federal gift program or whatever, and that's not an issue.
Just gifting.
Yeah,
Just gifting.
it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, so gifting is dangerous.
Yeah,
as
if you give
age,
away
because of that.
$10,000 and you want to apply for Medicaid, then you are going to have to.
Okay. So
I don't
gifting.
want people to confuse those things.
Yes, gifting. Because I hear people talk about, we gifted out a bunch of money. I'm like, that's not good. Okay, that's.
Well, they give it back.
It's not a good thing because that's. But my accountant told me I could give away $10,000 to everybody on the block. That's great, but not with a Medicaid look back. You either fit that mold or they won't give you the benefit. It's how it's set up, and it's set up that way for a reason.
If you have a question, just come and talk to Greg and ask if you're confused.
Sure.
He'll tell you.
What about the 3-year look back period for assisted living? If you need help with assisted living, it's a little harder to get, but it's out there. It's under a special program called Special Assistance Medicaid.
I don't understand that. I don't
So-
understand why they do it.
Why it's different? Yeah. Well, here's the question. And are they going to change those look back periods from 5 years and 3 years? Is there going to be a change? Is it going to be shorter or longer?
I don't know.
I'm not going to give you a hint.
I'm going to say it's not going to change.
It's
Only
not.
because
You're saying over the next 4 years, is it going to change? Yes
I
or no?
don't think the look back period is going to change.
Okay.
And not because I have any prescient knowledge or anything.
You just
like
don't feel
that.
like it will,
I just know that right now North Carolina is friendly to seniors.
right?
It's friendly to veterans.
Right.
And I don't think that they want to, after HB2,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be very careful before they do something that's going to make headlines that looks like they're trying to throw grandmother over the cliff or anything.
Okay.
So I think they're going to be cautious about that. So that's just mine.
I wanted to disagree with you all day, and I'm going to disagree here. I think there will be a change in the next 4 years with the look back period. That's where I think the change is going to be. I think that assisted living Medicaid will go to 5 years look back period. I think with your special assistance, I think nursing home Medicaid is going to go to 7 years.
Why is the
7 year look back period is what
why
I'm
is the
predicting.
in-home care look back period more?
There is no in-home care look back period. Nursing home
No,
care or
nursing,
assisted living?
no, assisted living. Yeah. Why are they different?
They're just two
What-
separate programs.
Well,
They just are. There's separate rules. There's separate things you can protect. The rules are different in each program. They're complicated and convoluted, and they're different in each one.
I know.
And I enjoy
But
it.
I just do
I enjoy it.
that.
I love, by the way, I love planning under these rules and programs. It's my bread and butter. It's what I like to do. So, but I'll tell you that I see a 5 and 7 year look back period. Okay, that's what I see. I can't wait to rewatch this show. Thank you for hanging with us. We did a full hour today, by the way. We're doing a full hour today, and good job.
We get into these conversations and
Yeah.
we'll just take time out and
We covered every
intellectualize
point that I wanted to cover.
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
and I don't know if we're going to be right or wrong. All right,
Well,
but it's our
we'll
guess.
look back in
Okay,
4 years. We need to.
it's our feeling, and it's what we do. So I've enjoyed our conversation about it,
Yeah.
and we didn't get too far into politics either, did we?
No, well, no.
No, you
No.
tried to go political a couple
I
times.
tried not to. I
You
truly
did.
did.
I had to
I know that
steer the car
there. Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah. It's
It's hard, isn't it,
yeah.
to be apolitical?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so thank you so much, everybody out there. I really, really appreciate all the seniors out there, the veterans. Salute to my veterans out there, my brothers in arms, and their families, and seniors and their families. I truly enjoy doing what I do. It comes from my heart. I am a veteran. I enjoy taking care of our veterans. I will one day be a senior if I'm lucky.
And I'm still trying to remember the name of that movie.
What's the name of the movie that they need to go see? What is it?
I don't know. I just cannot remember.
You want me to look for it?
I
You want me to
love
look
so
it up?
much.
Movies.
It'll be on any movie list of movies out today.
Yeah.
I found 7.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Go see Hacksaw Ridge.
If you can, it's very graphic. Just keep that in mind. It's
Hayden
not for
gives
the
it-
faint of heart.
Hayden gives it 2 thumbs
Oh
up.
yes.
Right?
Oh yes.
I don't know. I hadn't seen it,
Took
but I'm
my breath
thinking if
away.
you like it, I'm gonna probably
You
love
will love it.
it. I like it, right?
My
I'll probably be screaming at him to pick up a gun or something. At some
my
point.
son-in-law,
Like, what are you doing?
who's retired, a former special ops helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
He and my daughter went to see it on Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Yes, it's my dad. My dad did not close his eyes one time during that movie, and he always sleeps during movies.
Okay.
He could not close his eyes. It was so dramatic and so. And the fact that it was a true story. And I mean, I know they make these.
Embellish.
Yeah, but I think that's war. I think the graphic detail of it is factual. I cannot believe. I want you to just imagine how they created those sequences. I mean, they talk about. One of the things I've complained about in new movies, we'll probably get off subject, is choreography in movies has been so terrible lately. Used to, a fight sequence was choreographed and it would last 5 or 10 seconds. And now it's like a second, one move, and they cut away and take it to another move, and the choreography is just horrible. But this was so wonderful.
It was realistic.
Yes. Yes. very much so. The dirt, the ground,
I love
the blood,
Saving
the
Private
guts.
Ryan.
Well, this
I thought it was
is
quite
more
graphic.
graphic than that one, if I remember correctly. But it is a fabulous movie. It really is. 2 thumbs up.
Thank you all, and you know, if you ever have any questions about any of the things that we talk about on our show at the conference table or any of our other shows, look for lunch with a veteran. I'm interviewing Commander of American Legion on Monday, tomorrow at noon. I think having lunch with Evan Thompson. 11:30 with Evan Thompson, and we'll have that up tomorrow afternoon. Okay, which we like to talk about war stories and different cool stories from the military and our veterans service. So anyway, give me a call. Give us a call at our office. What's our office phone number?
704-259-7040.
She knows it. Yep. And if you need me, you can always find me on Facebook or hit me up on Twitter at Lawyer Greg.
Between Asheville and Charlotte, if you're in that area, it's easy, no problem. We've got office space everywhere, so we will see you.
Yes, we do. We do. We've got a nice office in Asheville, nice office space there. All right, in Charlotte. Thanks, Hayden. Peace.
Bye.